Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing absolutely fine. Now, getting into architecture college has a lot of steps to it. You might be preparing for Nata or JEE exams while you are preparing for your 12th boards. You want to get into the best college. Once you get into a college, you don't really know what to expect, or even before you're getting into colleges, you don't really know what is the right step to take forward. So let me break it down for you in this video. If you want to get into the best architecture colleges, here are things to do before and after getting into one. So let's go. So what I've done is I've divided this video into certain steps that you would take to achieve your goal. So obviously the first step would be to apply for exams. For architecture, you would be giving these two papers, which is Nata and JEE Paper 2. I have spoken about these papers in detail. Check out the I button to know more. And both the papers will ask you similar kind of questions. It will be based on design, visualization, just in general, how creative you are and how technical too you can be, depending upon what paper you're solving, which is Nata or JEE. And beyond that, there are a lot of questions that once you do enroll for exams, a lot of students ask. Some of the top questions would be, do you really need to go for in-person coaching for these papers or go for online coaching? Now, if you have seen my past videos, you would see that I have spoken about going to in-person coaching, but also keep in mind that I went for these exams really long time back. It was 2017-18 when I was actually starting to prepare for these exams, and back then you can expect that online coaching was not very common. So I went for in-person coaching and that helped me a lot. But at the same time, if you're somebody who wants to go for online coaching, I would think it is a best way to go forward, because I remember going back and forth to classes and everything would take a lot of time. But I think both of the things are pretty helpful. Now, what I would recommend you all is to always look into the official websites for Nata and JEE whenever you are appearing for exams, or even if you are appearing the next year. Just make sure you are checking those websites. They will always update you about the latest syllabus. So if there's any change in general, it's always good to know. And if there's something to look forward to, you will not get a shock one day before the paper. So yes, you can prepare on your own, but if you want to go for coaching and if you want some guidance, I think that would be a much better way to approach such exams. Now, if you're planning to apply for design exams, maybe next year in 2026 or even beyond that, and are looking for coaching for Nata, JEE or even UCEET, I believe you should definitely check out AERIE Academy. AERIE Academy is a one-stop platform for architects and designers, everywhere from the ones who are aspiring to the ones who are currently practicing. I recently spoke with the founder of AERIE Academy, which is architect Parul Sharma, who is an IIT Kharagpur graduate, and she shared with me how she wants to create this platform into one place where aspirants who are looking for coaching and guidance can come and contact them, and that would help them everywhere from applying for the exams to finally getting into college. And then if you are currently a student and you want to brush up on your architecture, AutoCAD or BIM skills, you will have courses for that. Or if you are actively looking for jobs, there could be like a separate job portal which would help architects and designers land their dream job. So it is kind of the aim and the ambition of AERIE Academy to be like a one-stop platform. And they recently shared with me that they are coming up with the new Nata, JEE and UCEET courses. I know AERIE Academy since they have their flagship gate course for a very long time, and that's how I was following their channel. And yeah, so if you are looking for Nata, JEE and you want some guidance which would be beyond just solving papers or studying the pattern of exam, maybe it could be how would you get into SPAs or IITs for architecture. So definitely check out AERIE Academy. The link would be in the description. And yeah, let's move forward with the video. I think once you've cleared the exams and you're done with your 12th standard also, then comes the step 2, which is actually selecting the right college for you. I've also made a separate video for it, so do check out the link in the description or the I button. I just think there are a lot of factors which would determine what college you end up going to. So make sure you keep your non-negotiables in place and then choose what is best for you. Some colleges can be very expensive. Some colleges can be relatively cheaper in their fee structure, but can be really far away from where you live. So you have to choose your weapon and actually decide what will be best for you. One thing I would recommend is, I know it is a little uncommon connecting to people on LinkedIn, especially if you are like, you're just starting your bachelor's program, but I would still recommend you all to connect to people on LinkedIn and actually ask if how are students, experiencing the college life in the kind of college you have gotten selected in. And another thing, if you need also college guidance, AERIE Academy will not just be helping you with the exam prep, but after that also with college selection, they would be, counseling you. So that will be very helpful if you are looking forward for, not just exam prep, but also, helping you out with your journey till you get into college. Should I be doing architecture or interior design? Like, what is more fruitful for the future? Or can I do architecture after interior design? Or can I do architecture but I am a commerce student? So let me clear these doubts one by one. What is better, architecture or interior design? In architecture, it is a 5-year professional degree, and you can do interior design after architecture as well. You can be an architect as well, and you can get license in India after you get your degree. So it is that's the journey. And if you are going into interior design, I think it's a 3 to 4 year program depending upon which college you get into. Can you practice architecture after interior design? No, because you can't get a license in architecture. But can you study architecture after interior design? Yes, but I would recommend, if you want to study architecture, then do it before, because 5 years mein you can practice both. And if I am a commerce student, can I do architecture? No. I think till a few years ago, before I actually got into the field, like as a student, it was possible for commerce students to actually get into this field, but now it isn't. To qualify for even JEE Paper, you have to be a PCM student. So yes, but if you want to get into interior design, you can be from arts or commerce background as well. So pick your poison. I think it is now government has certain rules, so commerce students might not be able to get into this field, but you can always get into interior design. And which is better? I think this is a pretty weird question to ask, because both of them are actually designing buildings and spaces, like living spaces. So if you're designing interior spaces, that's interior design. If you're actually designing the building, that is architecture. And architecture can also have, overlapping working with interior design. So yeah. So these are a lot of questions that I get asked. I thought I'll just clear them out before moving ahead with the video. Now, this is a question I saw a lot of aspirants asking me on Instagram, and I was pretty surprised, because back in the time when I was about to join architecture college, I didn't really care about what was coming forward. Like, I was like, okay, once I get into it, I will have to study only, so why to study now? But actually, a lot of people ask me how to prepare for college so I can actually balance my life and, do very well, like academically, which was a pretty nice question. And I thought I'll help you all with it. So if you want to prepare yourself before you get into the field of design or architecture, I would recommend you all looking into websites like Design or ArcDaily if you're getting into architecture, interior design, because it is very important to know what new buildings are getting built. Yes, you can know the 7 wonders in the world, but what's new? Like, who is designing the next Navi Mumbai airport in Mumbai? Or just in general, what's up in your own country or in your neighboring countries? That is pretty good to know. And I also believe to, inculcate an habit inside you to maintain a diary. Now, that does not have to be dear diary, I did this, I did that. I mean, you could do that, but to have a diary to actually, record your design ideas, to sketch, to, note a lot of the important things that your professor could be saying that particular day, which can be helpful when you're preparing for your exams or juries or something like that. I think as a designer, even when I am working, I always maintain a diary. Even if it's random thoughts related to design or what I felt was wrong or right, I always record them. So I have around 5-6 diaries now. And even throughout my 5 years, I always maintained one miscellaneous diary, one thesis related diary, one semester project related diary. So I had multiple ones of them. And if you're very good at sketching, I think it is pretty nice. You have like an archive of your old sketches, which is so interesting to look at. I usually maintain diaries to just record my ideas. So if I ever need them, I can always get them from those. And for all of my viewers who are into reading and would like some book recommendations, here are some book recommendations, and these links would be in the description. So check them out. And I would also recommend you all to read as much as you can once you join college too. You will have a huge library and there'll be a lot of books. So don't neglect that. Do check out your library and read a lot of books. Even if you don't like it, I think it's always very helpful. Now, there's another huge doubt that I have seen a lot of students talk about. Now, I know design architecture is very expensive in general, and you need laptops and these fancy equipments to study. Well, not really. Do you really need laptop like the i5, i7 generation ones when you're just starting your journey? No, especially if you're studying in India. Your first 2 years are very rudimentary, starting with lines, sketches, painting, and doing all hand-driven stuff. So even if you don't have a laptop till second year, it is all right. And if you have a normal laptop, which is like a very entry-level one that we generally have at home, that is also completely fine. There will be a lot of colleges that might teach you softwares in first year itself, but I think then they actually tell you that you might require a laptop. But most of the times, if you're getting into, colleges for design architecture in general, first 2 years, it might not be very important. You can very well use your phone. I think these are very versatile devices now, and you can do pretty much everything. I did not have a proper laptop till third year. And in fact, I also did my third year on a laptop which was almost dead. I actually bought one in the end of third year or fourth year. Now I don't remember, but I remember giving my major juries and my laptop was not working. But I still did everything on my phone. So yeah, I don't think laptop is very important. But then eventually I think it is an investment. When you get into fourth year, third year, you're giving your boards or something. Yes, you will need one. So you will have to eventually invest in one. You can always look into it. There are multiple ones in the market. Maybe I can also make a video to just explain what kind of laptop is good for what. If you're interested, let me know. Now, stage 3 would be now you are in college. So congratulations. And you might not know what to expect. Now, I know I have made a detailed video on this as well. But if you are not wanting to watch that, maybe I could just help you all with things you can look forward to in design or architecture colleges, and maybe how you should be approaching your journey forward. Remember that journey in design colleges is all about self-exploration. It is not about that rigid exam marking system that we've had in 12th standard or 10th standard. I know it might all sound very utopian, but it really isn't. You would see that they do have a syllabus, but a lot of it is left on the student on how much they want to explore. For example, if you're designing a hospital building and that is your semester project, so you would have a lot of things which is related to designing a hospital building, but it totally depends on you whether you want to do a surface level research or want to get into the very depth of it, like what kind of colors would be good for using inside a hospital building. Or if you are an architecture student, you're not just designing the facade but also the interior spaces, and then you're also mind mapping on how people will be going about the site. But then you can also do it very surface level, like just providing the plan section elevation and just doing the basics to get through the semester. So it is a lot about self-exploration. Marks are not everything in design college. Now, let me give a disclaimer before getting into the very detail. It really depends on what stage of design education you're on. So if you are actually preparing for exams to get into colleges, marks are everything, because that's what determines where you're going forward to. And then if you are into college and you're doing multiple extracurriculars, you're doing a lot of clubs and societies and this and that, then maybe marks or just being number one in the class will not be the most important thing. What would really be important is how much you are able to learn and how much you're able to show in your portfolio or when you get into the professional market. Once you get into architecture college, the schedule is mostly intense. If you have ever watched any of my vlogs when I was studying in college, I think you would realize, or how much ever I was able to capture my tight schedules before exams or juries, or just in general when we would go for site visits or something like that. And I just think it is so important to rest and not just depend on caffeine, or not just pull all-nighters for no reason and then wreck your sleep cycle. I know a lot of my friends who were pulling all-nighters left, right, and center in college. And then now after college as well, they have trouble sleeping at night because the schedules are already wrecked. And then I think, you have such lack of physical activity because you're sitting in one place and studying, or you're moving around, but then again, you're glued to your laptop or to your sheets and just working. I think it is very important to also get some time for physical activity. I remember during pandemic, I spent a lot of time sitting and doing my work at home, but at the same time, I had a habit of going down in the evenings and running and doing some physical activity. That was very good. That was my peak. So I think it is very important to indulge yourself in some physical activity, even if you don't like it. I think it will help you a lot in the future. I think a lot of people find architecture or design very intimidating, especially in the start of their college journey or maybe their professional journey, is because you always have to work on something which is very visual, first of all, and a lot of people can have a lot of opinions about it. And then, discuss your designs or discuss your work publicly. And then if something goes wrong, then you are almost humiliated publicly. But I think it is very important to actually discuss what you're doing, because until you don't discuss, you don't realize where you're going wrong or if you have missed on something. Because we can get super passionate about what we are doing and then forget what we actually have to do. So it's always good you show it to your friends, your professors, or maybe somebody who's already in the field, and just get some third-person opinion. Here's a bonus tip for you all. I know you might be starting your journey in design or something like that, or you might be looking forward to getting into colleges. Once you do, it has been my personal experience that I feel very intimidated, that I feel like I don't know enough and that my colleagues know a lot more than me. And not just the people that I work with, my seniors or my super seniors are way more smarter and I don't know anything. I will recommend you all document your journey online. And I'm not saying to create a YouTube video like me, or like you have to put your whole life online, be a vlogger or something. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, you can do that. But professionally documenting your journey, whether it is creating your own website or creating your Behance account or creating an Instagram, which is especially for your design work, or documenting your life on LinkedIn and being a LinkedIn influencer. I think it is pretty cool to be one these days. But for that, you don't have to be expert in what you're doing. You just have to share your journey. I remember having a LinkedIn page, I think when I was in 4th year of college, and I just started documenting my journey back then as a design influencer, because I make content on YouTube, and also as an architecture student about my internship or site visits or something like that. And I think I had like 7,000-8,000 followers in like 4 months, which was pretty amazing because how much do I know even about design? But I was just documenting whatever I knew, and that opened a lot of doors for me. And back then I had a few freelancing gigs as well. I think social media is amazing if you know how to use it in the right way. And for designers, I think it's especially important because you would like people to know what you're doing. You're designing for people, but they only don't know that they need you to design something. I think it will make more sense when you get into colleges and you realize people around us, especially in India, might not really know what kind of a job role a designer can do. Even today, when design is a pretty cool profession to get into, and a lot of people are getting into this. That is going to be it. This has been a very interesting video for me because I had to, concise everything you need to know to get into the best college and to get into colleges that really would be something you wish to get into. And I know there can be a long list of colleges and it can look very intimidating, like I would never get into them and it will be extremely difficult. But trust me, take one day at a time and just, tick off your small goals for every day. and suddenly you would realize you are actually making a lot of difference in your journey. And if you're looking for coaching and guidance for Nata, JEE, UC, you can check out AERIE Academy. The link would be in the description. Thank you for partnering me for this video. If you want to watch any other video, do let me know. Recently, I've gotten a lot of ideas for new videos, so I'm pretty excited to shoot them all one by one. So I hope you're excited for that. And yes, I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.